Tennessee, and we welcome you to the American Conference on ESPN. Major implications for the New Year's Six Bowls and for the division championship in the American West Conference, or American Conference West, between Navy and Memphis, one of the 10 remaining unbeaten teams in college football coming in to this Saturday. As we take a look at the standings on the west side of the ledger, you just saw Houston stay as one of those 10 unbeatens at 9-0. Memphis and Navy each with a shot to keep pace with an eye towards the first ever West Division championship in the American Conference, leading towards the first American Conference title game. Into the broadcast booth at the Liberty Bowl, Adam Amin, Kelly Stauffer, Olivia Harlan as well. We're telling you about all the playoff implications, about the New Year's Six implications, division implications. Two teams with similar goals, completely different styles.
Other end of the spectrum, and that's what we get in college football once in a while, is this extreme contrast. You have the up-tempo of Memphis, and then you have the triple option, and quarterbacks really epitomize the contrast that we're going to see tonight. We see right here the tail of the tape. Keenan Reynolds is a surgeon in the triple option at 5'11". All he does is rush for touchdowns, and Paxton Lynch might be the face of an NFL team a year from now. 6'7", 250 pounds, and that up-tempo spread. You can't get more different than these two guys.
And you see the big number 77 in the rush TD column for Keenan Reynolds' career. One more will set the new all-time FBS record. He's currently tied with Monte Ball with 77 career rushing touchdowns. You see the list of the top 4 all-time, and a chance for Keenan Reynolds to do it in his home state, 219 miles away from Antioch, Tennessee, a suburb of Nashville. We're in Memphis with a chance for Reynolds to do it in front of family and friends tonight in a huge game in the American Conference with playoff and New Year's Six implications. Memphis won the toss and elected to receive, and the Tigers, their high-powered offense, will have it first. And off we go from Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. Very short kick, grabbed at the 10-yard line. On the move. Here's Anthony Miller, slippery, and out near the 30-yard line to start the night first, averaging 48 points per game. This Memphis offense, third in the country, and Paxton Lynch is quickly climbing up a lot of NFL scout charts.
Yeah, very intriguing skill set. 6'7", 250 pounds, and still growing, quite frankly. His head coach described him as a young kid that just wants to be a quarterback, and he's grown into a very, very good one.
One of the most efficient passers in the country, has thrown one pick in 286 passes as Anthony Miller has the grab, and he works out across the 20-yard line. Grabbed by Daniel Gonzalez and brought down after a gain of 8. Redshirt junior out of Florida, went to Trinity Christian High School in Deltona. And you see the size, 6'7", nearly 250, rocket arm with deadly accuracy. Scouts in the NFL are salivating over this guy right now, and rightfully so. Fake to Anthony Miller, downfield across the 40. Sprinting down the sideline, deep inside of Navy territory, it is Daniel Montiel.
We see the movement right here by Paxton Lynch, and that's one of the things that this 6'7" kid can do really well. And Montiel is the online tight end, and this time he goes clear across the formation and sneaks behind that coverage, very well disguised.
On first down, Miller. Good blocking outside. And Miller gets shoved down. Got a seal block from Mose Frazier, and he works towards the 10-yard line.
Adam, we saw Daniel Montiel, and we'll also see Alan Cross, two very, very good tight ends in this spread system as well.
Memphis speeding it up, swinging out to Miller again. Another block from Frazier, and Anthony Miller diving to the pylon. Touchdown, Tigers.
Miller makes a great effort on the quick screen outside, a very good block out on the edge by Frazier, and then right here the effort. If he's in bounds and just touches that pylon, that's a touchdown. That's very well called on the field.
Leading receiver Anthony Miller, very involved on that drive where Lynch went 4 of 4 for 85 yards. 3 of those completions were to Miller. The 60-yarder from Montiel helped set it up. Jake Elliott, outstanding kicker, makes it 7-0 This is a Memphis offense that has gotten off to slow start after slow start all season long. For the first time since the opening game of the season, the Tigers score on their opening drive. Exactly what they wanted. One of the high-powered offenses in college football. Memphis, third in the nation in scoring behind Baylor and TCU. Didn't take them long. Got into the end zone very quickly. Anthony Miller had 3 receptions, including the touchdown grab. Jake Elliott kicking away for the Tigers. Very good touchback kicker. And Dyson Romine will wave it out. Navy out to the 25-yard line. And Olivia Harlan, it's a big night for Keenan Reynolds.
Yeah, Adam, and Keenan Reynolds told me he's ready to get this over with. Now, he's not ungrateful, and he does understand the importance of it. He just wants the focus to be back on the team's race for the division title. But boy, he would love it to come tonight, though, in his home state of Tennessee, where he started playing football, always a quarterback, at age 5. This morning, I talked to his high school coach, David Martin, who said he's not surprised at all by his success. Reynolds started all 4 years for him at Good Pasture Christian, just outside of Nashville. And it was actually his older teammate, Benny Cunningham, who now plays for the St. Louis Rams, that told Coach Martin to start him his freshman year. He's got his whole family here, guys, and his mom even said they would charter a bus.
Well, the first snap out of the hands of Keenan Reynolds, and he's able to get back on top of it, recover the fumble. It'll be a loss of 4, not the start that Keenan Reynolds was hoping for. Olivia mentioned the family is here. His father, Donnie, who was a player at Tennessee Martin, to the left. His little brother, Quentin, in the middle there. And then on the right, in the gray sweatshirt, that's his mother, Jackie, whom Olivia mentioned a moment ago. They're all here. Plenty of family and friends, 220 miles away, Antioch, Tennessee. Second down 14 for this triple option offense, and it is a pitch to the outside for Sanders. And Brandon Sanders gets dragged down close to the sticks. Good maintenance play to set up third and manageable.
And Adam, that's what we're going to see is Keenan Reynolds is a surgeon at the line of scrimmage running that triple option, and they're going a little bit hurry up right here.
For a hard count for Reynolds, and now he'll check. He's got a lot of freedom in this triple option offense. Averaging 320 rushing yards per game, third in the country. Pitch again, Sanders, first down. Navy very good on third down and fourth down, oftentimes in 4-down territory, and this is one of the most difficult offenses, and you hear it all the time, most difficult offenses in college football to prepare for.
Yeah, the triple option is very hard to duplicate with your scout team in practice. The speed of it, the precision of it, and Navy is probably the best team right now at doing this thing in college football.
To give to the fullback, Chris Swain, who's this team's second leading rusher behind Keenan Reynolds, coming off 131 yards last week. 5 yards on that play. How about this? 1879 was the first year of Navy football. They ran the triple option, not the entire time, but a good chunk of it. But last week was the first time in their history they had 3 different 100-yard rushers in that victory over South Florida.
That is very difficult to believe.
Yeah.
I had to make you say that again in our production meeting. I did not buy that one the first time around.
So far, 5 different men have carried it for Navy. Fake the dive. Reynolds will keep it. He's got another first down, and Morley upends him after he picks up the necessary yardage inside the 35. Now, last week against South Florida, Reynolds had 117. Swain had a very solid game, his 4th career 100-yard game, and Dyson Romine, his first ever 100-yard game last week. Here is Swain, pounded down immediately in the thick of things in the middle there by Sharif White, along with Noah Robinson. Second down.
Adam, typically in this triple option offense, the fullback gets more than a third of the carries, usually in the probably 30 to 35 percentile, and then the quarterback is next, and then they get onto the edge with those slot backs, and we've already seen that early in this game. Usually this offense builds from the inside and expands to the outside, and by the time they get to the outside, this offense is gashing you.
Tenth play, 10th run. This time a pitch to the outside for Calvin Cass Jr. And he gets barreled down by Wynton McManus after picking up the first down to the 20-yard line.
So it's the dive read to begin with by Keenan Reynolds. He pulls it when the fullback gets tackled and then gets to the edge, and in this case makes a very quick pitch right there. Only takes about 2 steps, and then the pitch goes out. He makes about 3 decisions in a matter of about a second and a half right there.
Ken Niumatalolo said the thing that separates Keenan Reynolds in this offense is his decision making. Not many have ran the triple option, and the numbers show it, as well as Keenan Reynolds has. Trying to make the decision that time. That was well covered. Dontrell Nelson, the cornerback, came up in the coverage to try to help out and made the stop. It'll be second down.
The second time we've seen that speed option getting out to the edge.
This is what we're talking about. The FBS all-time leaders in career rushing touchdowns. Monte Ball with 77. Keenan Reynolds with 77. Monte Ball did it in 49 games. This is career game number 44 for Keenan Reynolds. Second down from the 20. Swain putting that shoulder down, and he runs right into Deshaun Terry after a solid run to the 13. Third down coming up for Navy, and we take a look at your Chick-fil-A impact players when Navy's on the ball.
Well, we're going to say this a lot. Chris Swain is the fullback. They're going to establish him inside and then work outside. And Jamil Tillman is the big play receiver outside. Pennington and Pegues is going to have to defend the fullback here tonight if Memphis is going to have a chance in this game. Excuse me, Adam. Once again, you see Navy in their wheelhouse down in distance-wise.
They've had 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2 and converted already. They're going to go option right this time, and Reynolds will keep it and get another first down. Staying on his feet, it'll be 1st and goal for Navy.
The use of the speed option, you see the fullback leading up, and then it's the pitch relationship outside, and then Keenan Reynolds attacking the in man on the line of scrimmage, and once again being decisive, knowing what he needs to extend this drive.
He did it on the 5th first down of this opening drive. 13 plays, 66 yards down the field, taking more than 7 minutes off the clock. Immediate pitch. This is Romine, and Romine very close to the goal line. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Olivia told us that Keenan Reynolds would love to get this record out of the way. They're in prime territory to try and do it. Donnie, Quentin, and Jackie all looking on. Donnie was his first ever coach when Keenan was 5 years old. He was groomed to be a quarterback. He's got an opportunity to make history. It is a pitch. Swain cutting it up the field, and he'll dive into the end zone for a touchdown. Navy doing what they do, taking time off the clock and pounding it in with a rushing touchdown.
You talked about it, the 16th play, and they finally get in the end zone. 9 minutes, and I guarantee you that Keenan Reynolds does not care who scores. That's the way he feels about that record, and Swain takes it in. His parents don't care either. Just get us a touchdown. They had to answer Memphis's quick start, and they did it in a huge way in a prototypical drive.
Austin Greeby, a very good kicker in his own right for Navy, ties the game at 7 apiece. We told you at the top, so much at stake, not only historically, but in this conference, in the playoff potentially, completely different styles, and we saw both on display in the first scores. Chris, how incredible is this? Remember, this was a team in Ole Miss that Memphis beat by 2 scores. That's the signature win that has helped Memphis work into the top 15 in the college football playoff rankings. Now what does that mean for the bigger scope? Jalen Oglesby on the return, the freshman out across the 20, and he gets barreled down by Williams. 4-man rush on 3rd down. Look at the bullet over the middle for a first down out across the 40 to Phil Mayhew.
And Adam, that's the thing that jumps out right now is his pocket awareness. Lynch is getting much better in the pocket. You know, fluid athletes sometimes have a hard time staying home, and he's learning the value of it.
Another throw, and into Navy territory. Mayhew back-to-back long plays as he picks up the catch and another first down. Navy 16 runs. Memphis 8 passes. Completely different styles, 2 very effective and successful teams. What a great matchup tonight. Maybe under the radar with all the great games going on tonight. First run of the night for Dorcius. And he takes it inside the 45-yard line into Bernard Serra. This is what we're talking about. Navy scoring drive, 9 minutes, went over 16 plays. Memphis, it took 81 seconds.
And Navy, meanwhile, wants to keep the ball away from this guy.
Yeah. Lynch swinging it out for Mose Frazier. Very dangerous in multiple facets. Gets swallowed up by Laurentez Barber. And it'll set up a makeable 3rd down and 3 at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, and we talked about Navy wanting to establish the fullback, and they'll keep going back to Chris Swain. Memphis will throw screens until you cover them. They will go one side to the other and keep throwing screens. It's kind of their fullback in this offense.
Much like Navy, very good on 3rd down is Memphis this season, near 50%. Lynch can move. Hey, he can throw the option pitch too, and Dorcius drags Barber for a 1st down inside the 35.
We've seen Keenan Reynolds running this speed option, and now we see Lynch doing it. Attacking number 3, Brandon Jones, pitches it at the right time. He presses that defender and then pitches it back. That was well executed. He's not supposed to be doing that.
A 1st down from the 22-yard line. Dorcius again. This time gets stacked up right at the line of scrimmage by Amos Mason, along with Quincy Adams. Big body Mason right there, and it brings up 2nd down.
And what Navy wants to do defensively, they have a 3-man front, and they're really the ultimate bend but don't break scheme on the defensive side. They want to build structure on the back end, and their 3 defensive linemen just want to kind of hold the fort and keep offensive linemen off those linebackers and let them roam free.
It's a very hard-hitting 3-4 Navy defense. That brings pressure. Lynch to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Looking for Cross, that excellent pass-catching tight end, reaching high, and it's 3rd down.
And Paxton Lynch just a little bit off tonight on a couple of those throws. That time, Cross was going down the seam, and this was a nice touch pass. And he didn't lead it inside because you could see that free safety sneaking over the top. And so the quarterback tried to hit on the back number, and he was just a little high and outside.
2 for 3 on 3rd down so far, the Tigers. 4-man rush for Navy. Lynch to the end zone, and it's incomplete with Tevin Jones streaking down the seam. Could not connect, and it's 4th down.
It's something to keep in mind tonight that Paxton Lynch. How many times are we going to say that?
Reminds you a little bit about Jordan Lynch.
Moves the same way. Is bigger than that guy, though, but remember that this offense isn't going to probably get the touches that they're used to because Navy's ability to possess the football offensively. So that 3-and-out was huge for them.
Jake Elliott, one of the best kickers in college football. One of the best deep ball kickers as well. And this one from 40 was no problem for Elliott, who's now by himself in the Memphis record books, 2nd all-time with 52 career field goals. Only Steven Gostowski has more with 70. The junior has been dynamite. Only 9 teams are still unbeaten. 2 of them are in the American Conference, Memphis and Houston.
We're still pressing for complete chaos, though, right, partner? That's what we're looking for ultimately.
This is Dyson Romine. It's tackled in the open field by Deshaun Terry. We'll see how that loss maybe affects the Memphis resume with the Ole Miss loss earlier today to Arkansas. Jameer Tillman on the first Navy pass picks up 5 yards as the first quarter comes to a close. Keenan Reynolds still sitting at 77 career rushing touchdowns. We talked about the clash of styles between these 2 teams. If you're a college football fan, a true fan of the sport, you love this game tonight. A lot of implications. Top of the West Division is up for grabs between Memphis and Navy in the first ever meeting all time. The quick strike Tigers score. The driving Midshipmen score to 10-7 Tiger lead through 1. Back in Memphis, college football primetime on ESPN. Navy 6-1. Memphis, one of the 9 remaining unbeaten teams in college football. And Damon Brown taking it off the edge with a really strong run out to the 35-yard line. Shouldered out by Chris Morley. We'll spot him at the 38.
Watch the good block right here. The running backs block well for each other. The arc released by goalie, and he cuts the safety to the ground. We're going to see so much of that regardless of who's trying to get it to the edge. And we've seen the quarterback get out there already. A lot of times it's a pitch man, but those slot backs block very well for one another.
23 snaps, 22 rushes. Another flick. Damon Brown, and he's close to the sticks. Again, the Memphis defense trying to bottle up Keenan Reynolds. You almost have to make a decision on who you're going to stop in this offense.
Yeah, and I think you want to stop number 19, Reynolds. There isn't any doubt about that. And I thought a really good adjustment to the speed of the game in which this triple option comes on to Memphis. I think that second drive, Memphis's defense looked pretty good.
The last two drives, Reynolds hasn't had much going.
The start of this drive, however, has been a different story. Getting to the edge has Navy.
Right back up the middle for Swain. Picks up decent first down yardage. Again, on the edges or up the middle. That's what you see. It's two options. It's two options on the edge or the option up the middle. And I mean, Galen Scott told us about it yesterday. You almost got to force him to the inside. Or you got to force him to the outside. You got to make decisions quickly in this defense against Navy's triple option.
And it's hard to make decisions more quickly than Keenan Reynolds does.
Absolutely. One of the best decision makers to ever run this offense.
He loves this game at the line of scrimmage.
Second down 5. It's a give to Quentin Ezell, the fullback. He's close to the marker. Brought down by McManus.
So, Adam, that's what you have. You have the establishment of the fullback in the middle. And if Keenan Reynolds gets a keeper, then he goes and attacks the next defender on the edge, and then it's whether he keeps it and gets down the alley or pitches it to the outside.
They've been good on third down all year. They've been good on third down tonight. And more often than not in third and short. Reynolds keeps, now pitches, first down and more. Down the sideline, it's Tony O'Gully, and he got chopped down by McManus inside the red zone.
And 3rd and 1, certainly the defense is thinking fullback up the middle, and this is where Reynolds gets to you. He pulls it quickly, very decisive, and then gets it to the edge to go it. That's where this offense is so tough. You have to focus on the fullback because you really can't go anywhere from there defensively. But as soon as you do that, this quarterback will make you pay out on the edges.
That was the longest run of Gully's career, 31 yards, the longest run of the day for Navy. First and goal, Reynolds at 77 career rushing touchdowns. There goes Keenan Reynolds. And Reynolds gets stacked up at the 2-yard line. Trying to get the push from Swain, but Sharif White was the first man there, along with Ricky Hunter, the veteran in his 46th career game, to stop up Keenan Reynolds. Second down and goal. Again, Reynolds comes into tonight close to a record. His family is here, 77 career rushing touchdowns, and I think there's some concern right now because Reynolds was slow moving off the field.
Yeah, he's definitely favoring that right side right there, that right arm, right shoulder.
There's only been one game for Reynolds this year where he did not score a rushing touchdown. That was in the win over Air Force.
I think it was Sharif White that puts the wood to him right there. Actually, it might have been Deshaun Terry, the strong safety, number 32, but you just get the sense that Memphis certainly has some pride defensively and does not want any type of record set on them.
Sure. Yeah, he had to come off the field. If you're an injured player, you have to sit out for at least a snap, and that is the case. So Tago Smith, who's making his 16th career appearance in a football game for Navy. Coaching staff says he's always ready to go. He's got to be ready now. The junior out of Georgia will man the triple option. And it's a give to Swain, and he walks right in for a Navy touchdown, and the Mids have taken the lead. Their first of the night.
And Adam, what Navy did is they They went unbalanced. They flipped one of their offensive linemen from the left side to the right side, and then they give it to a 245-pound fullback, and they just dare the defense to have enough gumption to stop them, and they couldn't right there.
Greavy makes it a 4-point Navy lead. No Keenan Reynolds on the field for a snap, no problem. Just give it to the 245-pounder from Macon, Georgia. His second of the night. But Chris Swain has given the Mids a 4-point lead with his second rushing touchdown in the first half. Oglesby with a returnable kick from the 3-yard line. The freshman gets pounded down at the 21. Ball comes out loose. And it's recovered by Memphis at the 18. Dangerous play there, but grabbed and corralled by Phil Mayhew. 24 passes in the first half for Paxton Lynch, closing in on 200 yards already. And some surprising inaccuracy at times from Lynch tonight. Lynch over the middle, and it's just the second interception he's thrown this year. Daniel Gonzalez with his 4th career pick. You want to talk about un-Paxton Lynch-like tonight? That's about as rare as it gets, an interception.
Uncharacteristic greed right here. Gonzalez is just dropping into his zone and reading the quarterback's eyes, and that ball shouldn't have been thrown. Needless to say, but those are decisions that we haven't seen Paxton Lynch make many times this year. His only interception before that one was in the Ole Miss game, and it was actually bounced off the chest of his receiver before it was picked off.
And Navy, with 17 seconds and a timeout, is essentially in field goal range for Greavy. Keenan Reynolds, his second pass of the night to the end zone, and it's dropped by Thomas Wilson. Wilson has had trouble in practice grabbing balls. This coaching staff has told Reynolds to try to trust Wilson a little bit, but that's a catch he has to make.
Right in his breadbasket, and Wilson slips down the seam from a tight slot position on the opposite side of the quarterback that time, and Reynolds put it on him, and Wilson could not finish.
They can still run it. They have one timeout, but they're going to pass again. Reynolds under pressure, flinging it off his back foot. A dangerous one to the 10, and it's incomplete with Calvin Cass Jr. in the area with a couple of defenders around him. Now again, Navy has a very good kicker, and indeed Austin Greavy will get a shot to try to drill a long field goal.
We'll have to dial back to that missed opportunity that dropped by Thomas Wilson in the second half. This is probably going to come down to the 4th quarter, and that was a huge missed opportunity by Navy.
Greavy into the win from 44 to make it a 7-point lead. And Austin Greavy with a flag down drills the field goal to make it a 7-point game, but we have to check the penalty marker here. Ken Niumatalolo is already sprinting off the field, but there could be a running into the kicker situation here.
I don't think you take points off the board regardless of what this penalty is. I think they'll keep the field goal up there. You don't have any time left anyway.
Yeah, you'd have one untimed down to run a play here, and it would probably be to the end zone. You don't want that.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Defense number 45. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the second half kickoff. The field goal is good, and that's the end of the second quarter.
So Navy takes a 7-point lead into the halftime break. We'll hear from Justin Fuente during our halftime report. Chris Cotter, Robert Smith, Brett McMurphy in the studio. Outback Steakhouse halftime. Boys, it is all yours.
Coach, very uncharacteristic for Paxton Lynch to throw an interception, just 2 now this season. What did you see in that decision?
Well, I think we were pressing a little bit. I mean, they're dropping a bunch of people into coverage, and we were trying to be aggressive, maybe a little too aggressive, and he tried to squeeze one in there. But we knew the game was going to be like this. I mean, it's going to be tight, so we got to get regrouped and ready to go to the second half.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
This is the American Conference on ESPN. It's been one of the most exciting conferences in college football. Two teams in this conference currently unbeaten, including number 13 Memphis, which again, as it oftentimes has this season during its 8-0 run, trailing at the halftime, and Navy putting it to the Tigers in that opening half. First meeting all time. Adam Amin, Kelly Stauffer, Olivia Harlan as well. When you have two differing styles in a game, it feels like the old cliche really fits. Who's going to impose their will on the other team? Navy kind of did so in that first 30.
I think Navy's very, very happy the way the first half played out. Same number of plays, but the time of possession, which Navy loves to control that part of it, they did that. And I think they are very happy with Navy's defense as well, because this clutter, the structure they creating for Paxton Lynch to have to throw the football in, he hasn't seemed comfortable in that first half. At least he didn't.
Let's start with triple option at one side of the spectrum offensively. That's Navy's triple option. It starts on the inside. You got to establish the fullback first.
Yeah, you establish the big guy swaying in the middle at 245 pounds, and then you expand it to the edges. And that's exactly what Keenan Reynolds does at the line of scrimmage. He gets his team typically in exactly the right play. And we talked about Paxton Lynch. He started out hot. That first drive was very impressive. Didn't take very long to get in the end zone. But then it was a lot of this kind of stuff. His second interception of the year, but there were other passes where he just wasn't in rhythm, and it wasn't just because of the lack of opportunities, although that was part of it, and that's exactly what Navy intends to do, but it was also the structure that Navy defensively plays with. They force the quarterback to have to throw into tight windows, and the quarterback, Paxton Lynch, has to be patient here in the second half.
Lynch threw his second interception of the season in that first half. Late in the second quarter, you see total plays. Each team has 37 plays on the game, but Navy had the ball for nearly 18 and a half minutes. Lynch struggled after that very impressive opening drive. And Navy will get the ball to start half number 2. Another very good kick by Jake Elliott. Out to the 25 comes Navy, and down to the field we go to Olivia.
Yeah, guys, you heard Justin Fuente tell me at half that Paxton Lynch tried to squeeze one in there with that pick. But with that pick, Navy's defense now has had a takeaway in 15 straight games. Defensive coordinator Dale Pearson told me to have a chance in this game, he thought they'd need 3 tonight. Well, that's 1. Coach Nia Matalello says they're playing exactly how they want to on offense. And just 5 passing yards, that's par for the course. That's who Navy is. Says they may not throw it again all night.
Yeah, 194 rushing yards is par for the course, too, for Navy. Olivia, good stuff. First down from the 25. Reynolds takes a beating on that pitch, but it's a good decision as Sanders has it out across the 35-yard line. 14 yards in the first play of the half.
Reynolds is so decisive. No fullback. Get pressured on the edge. He gets dumped on his head, but he does make a nice pitch. The triple option, and Navy says this: the more we can run the triple, the better we're going to be, and they start off with a really good one right there.
First down from the 39-yard line. Reynolds keeps, and this time he's going to get dragged down. Good assignment football by Regis Ball. Safety out there, and a loss of 2 yards on the play. You know, it's interesting, Kelly. I think the officials may have forgotten to assess the penalty.
That's what I was wondering, exactly.
We saw the ball spotted at the 35. Remember the penalty at the end of the half? They declined, or they opted to keep the field goal, I should say, but the penalty was supposed to be enforced on the kick. I wonder if the officials forgot about that. Reynolds will throw. Just his 4th pass of the night. This time it's short. And it's grabbed by Brandon Colon. His 4th career catch and first of the season. Picks up 6 yards, and it's 3rd down.
And 3rd and a little bit longer than what Navy is comfortable with. And so this is a good opportunity for Memphis to get off the field. Navy loves to they defer if they win the toss. They love to go on a methodical drive to start the second half. It'll be important for Memphis to make a play right here. We like to start imposing that will early here in the second half, Adam.
It'll be a give up the middle to Swain. He got grabbed by 2 Tigers, including Jannard Avery. It would be 4th down and about 4 here. Maybe a little too long for Ken Niumatalolo's taste to go for it on 4th down in this field position. And indeed, Alex Barta, who's been very good tonight, although the last punt was net 23. Tried to pin it to the sideline. He's been good, though. Miller is back to return. Sparta with a line drive. And it takes a bounce inside the 20. It'll be a 39-yard punt.
Yeah, and at times he just seemed uncomfortable trying to throw into that zone defense on the back end. That Navy's doing a really good job in the back seven of squeezing down zones and creating tight windows. I think Lynch is very comfortable throwing in the face of a blitz. He didn't look comfortable throwing in the face of structure in that first half.
They've been the best second-half offense in college football this year. The Memphis Tigers averaged 24 points per second half this year. Dorcius with a good first down run of 6.
And this is a rhythm offense. They need to get in the flow here early in the second half.
Fake on the handoff. This is Miller. And he got grabbed by Clemens and spun away from Clemens and got the first down. Anthony Miller showing off a little bit of strength in that 5'11" frame. Tempo comes with first downs, and when Miller and this Memphis offense get going with first downs, the tempo really starts to pick up. Something that's very difficult to contend with against this Navy D. Dorcius trying to bounce it to the outside, slips a tackle. First down for Dorcius, still on his feet. Additional yardage to the 42-yard line. Excellent run by the redshirt sophomore from New Orleans.
The Navy is typically pretty good up front at not only diagnosing things but tackling well, and they miss a couple of tackles here. They have it defended really well. Dorcius then gets off to the left and bounces it. In the first half, Navy defended very well.
Longest run of the game, 15 yards. Lynch dumps it off for Frazier, and incomplete. And Micah Thomas with the pressure coming in on Lynch, forcing him out of the pocket. Second down.
Adam, I think it's important to revisit who Navy is defensively. They're a zone team. They're a bend but don't break team, and they're kind of a mirror image of what they do offensively.
Sure.
They want to force efficiency. Their offense possesses it, limits the touches an offense is going to have of the opposition, and their defense then defends well, and they did it really well in the first half.
Here's Dorcius, got grabbed at the ankles by Daniel Gonzalez. Be third down and 5 here. Memphis offensively, very solid, as we told you. They can get going in a heartbeat, and they've had to do it a lot this year. They've had 5 comeback wins when they've trailed by at least double digits, and 3 wins when they've been trailing at halftime this year. This is not uncharted territory for Justin Fuente. Third and 5. Swing it to the outside. Frazier breaking a tackle, and he got popped a yard shy of the line to gain by Laurentez Barber. It's going to depend on the spot, and it looks to be just short. What a hit.
This is going to be interesting. In the end, you're going to see that kind of the bubble outside and then the hit by Barber. It comes up just a little bit short, and it appears that Memphis is going to stay on the field and go for it right here.
Hard-hitting senior from Louisville forces fourth and about a half a yard for Lynch. Third time they've gone for it on fourth down, and Lynch will fake the handoff, keep it himself, and has the first down.
A lot of window dressing, and they bring a slot receiver. They motion him back into the backfield. There's Anthony Miller, and then in the end, they fake it to him, and the 6'7", 245-pound quarterback converts and moves the chains.
Gives to Miller on the end around. Miller lost the football. It was loose at the 24-yard line. Quincy Adams punched it out of the hands of Miller, but it will stay with Memphis.
We talked about Memphis being a run-first team, and their running backs are more of the downhill in the box guys, and then Anthony Miller, the slot receiver from that jet sweep, and he definitely puts that on the ground, and I think it bounced right back to him.
It didn't go too far away, and lucky for Miller as he has the first down. Zone read to Henderson. Over the middle for a first down to the 10-yard line. Phil Mayhew spinning to the 9, and it's first down and goal for Memphis. 15-yard play there.
Well, Adam, you were wondering when this was coming, kind of the zone read, and then you throw a strike behind that second level of defenders that are coming up for the running back. We saw it right there.
On the ground, Henderson swallowed up. Good play by Will Anthony. These are two of the best, and I mean best, red zone offenses in college football. Very rarely have these teams gotten inside the 20 and not scored. And more often than not, both teams have scored touchdowns when they get inside the 20. A red zone defensive stand for either team is huge. Lynch still on his feet, and it'll be 3rd down and goal at the 1-yard line coming up. And it's 1st and goal Memphis with a chance to get a touchdown to tie the game. Here is Miller into the end zone. Touchdown Memphis. Memphis has been trying to avoid slow starts coming out of the locker room, whether it's to open the game or to open the second half. Tonight, both opening drives have been very long and very impressive, and both have led to scores.
Well, Navy wants to take the opening drive and go on that long, methodical drive, and Memphis's defense got off the field and gave it to their offense, who took full advantage of it, marched it right down. That was an important sequence in this game.
And Anthony Miller, with Sam Kraft injured, banged up, not really getting the touches as that hybrid player. This is back-to-back weeks that Anthony Miller has a rushing touchdown, and we're tied. Paxton Lynch's name has been thrown out there at times for the Heisman Trophy candidacy, and why not? He's been very impressive most of the year. Been an un-Paxton Lynch-like night tonight, but Anthony Miller has got 2 scores. One through the air and one on the ground. And he has tied this game at 17 apiece. Memphis getting it done on the ground on that last drive. Another good kick by Elliott. 3 out of every 4 of his kicks have been touchbacks. Maybe back to work. Reynolds with his 5th pass of the night. And a deep shot. Open man to Brandon Sanders. Navy answers and takes the lead. That's just Reynolds' 3rd touchdown pass of the season. But when Navy gets a look through the air, man, do they make them count. And Brandon Sanders really makes them count.
But Brandon Sanders is one of those slot backs, has been cutting a safety to the ground all the first half. And this time they come and play action pass and find him down the seam.
That was the longest pass of Keenan Reynolds' career. His 3rd touchdown pass of the season, but Brandon Sanders did most of the work here, blocking all night long, and this time he breaks free, averaging over 20 yards a catch in his career. He gives Navy the lead. And there is Tom the Tiger, much more active in the pregame. He is taking a much-needed rest for the time being in his digs right now. Both teams with interesting touchdown drives here in the second half, and it's a 7-point Navy lead. Greeby, a short kick, and this is Anthony Miller. And Miller's got a seam, staying on his feet, and there goes Miller, chopped down by Greeby as he got close to midfield. Works all the way to the 48 of Navy. A 47-yard return for Miller. Let's go back to that touchdown, that interesting touchdown from Navy.
Well, Brandon Sanders is right here, and typically he goes and blocks the defender responsible for the pitch. And just when you forget about that, he slips by you and runs a wheel route. Navy does this so well, and it's so hard on the defensive backfield because, remember, Sanders has come and blocked those guys to the ground multiple times in the first half, and that time he just goes by him on the wheel route.
Excellent field position for Lynch. Paxton Lynch deep down the field. 1st down and more. Roderick Proctor to the 21-yard line. 27 yards.
And you wondered when the vertical game was going to start to show up, and here you see it off the play action. And Roderick Proctor goes to the corner. And just as Navy's offense expands from the inside out, Memphis goes deep that time.
Another play fake. Lynch over the top for Cross, and too tall and incomplete. Cross does not have a catch tonight, but he's been a target that Lynch likes to go to as often as possible. First team American Conference tight end a season ago, and a veteran playing in his 45th career game.
And Cross got kind of turned around on that play, but a lot of the vertical passing game for Memphis is going to come off their play action pass game.
Second down 10. This time it's a give to Jarvis Cooper, his first carry of the night. The sophomore gets tagged for a loss by Bernard Serra and Micah Thomas. Third down and 11 here.
And Adam, we saw Ellen Cross, the tight end, a couple of plays ago, and this is typically where number 40 shows up.
Yeah.
Deep in the red zone off a play action pass. You probably won't see play action off a 3rd and 11, but keep an eye on that guy right there.
Lined up in the left slot. Lynch stepping up against the pressure. He's going to get hit from behind as he releases the ball to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Lynch took a shot from the backside as he was starting to get that arm release going. Fired it to Frazier, who could not corral.
And once again, the good movement by Lynch. But Navy defensively does not stop. Amos Mason that particular time from his defensive end position just ends up forcing an errant throw by hustling and getting Lynch from the backside.
Again, another 3-man rush that forces Lynch out of the pocket. Elliott from 38. He's been good from 40 tonight. And Elliott again is good. Memphis gets points. A rare trip to the red zone without a touchdown, but it's a 4-point game in the third. Elliott, another touchback. Reynolds keeping it, and on first down he runs for about 5, running into Sharif White. Keenan Reynolds, senior out of Antioch, Tennessee. As we told you, he is in his home state, about 220 miles away from where he grew up. One of 15 on the Navy roster from the state of Tennessee. Started playing football at 5 years old. Olivia told you he's always been the quarterback. His dad, Donnie, was his first head coach. Only had a couple of offers to play Division I football. Only a couple of FBS offers. Keeps it again. Pitch to the side. This is Damon Brown, and he's got the first down. More on Keenan with Olivia.
Guys, I was standing right by Keenan ever since he came off the field after the last drive, and he hardly said a word to anyone. He was just focused on warming up, holding hand warmers, very focused on that. And he did tell us this week that he's gotten a lot better at dealing with the ups and downs throughout a game, and his big focus, not letting his teammates see when he is down. You know, there's one thing on his mind tonight, and it's rushing for a touchdown. Whether he says it or not, you know that's on Navy's mind.
Straight up the gut. There goes Izell. And a really good first down run. Second down. Big run, Chris Swain into the open field, and it's another rushing touchdown for Navy. And don't look now, but Memphis is down double digits again. The Navy rushing attack doing the work tonight in Tennessee.
And when Keenan Reynolds gets this offense to the edges, the defense a lot of times gets their eyes in the wrong place and they forget about the fullback. And that's exactly what Navy made him pay for right there with Chris Swain, 245 pounds, rumbling into the end zone.
If you haven't seen the triple option, if you haven't seen Navy play football this year, the fullback does the damage. Chris Swain, who had 5 touchdowns on the season coming in, has rumbled for 3 of them tonight, and Memphis down double digits again. Memphis is one of 9 remaining unbeaten teams, and they have 5 wins out of the 8-0 record that they have this year. 5 wins when trailing by double digits this season. You see that bottom line? Most since 2000 in college football. That year, North Carolina State had 6 wins of double-digit comeback variety. And Phillip Rivers, who you'll see on Monday Night Football for the Chargers, he was the freshman quarterback that year for the 8-4 North Carolina State Wolfpack.
Memphis doesn't have an unlimited amount of touches when you play a Navy team the way Navy plays offensive football.
It's not like the Tulsa game where they had more than 700 yards because they're going to get it back over and over again. Here is Miller from the 3, trying to get something explosive going for Memphis. And he works out to the 30-yard line. Pretty decent return. So another long field in front of Paxton Lynch, although twice they've gone over 80 yards for touchdowns tonight. Lynch rolling and throwing, and a diving attempt incomplete by Mose Frazier. This is a big drive and a big swinging series, I think, in the story of this game, because if Memphis doesn't end up with the yardage that they need to try to get a first down, you're looking at Navy with the ball at the start or early in the 4th quarter, trying to burn off a lot of clock with 11 points as their lead. Good run on 2nd down by Dorcius. Close to the sticks, about a yard shy, and it'll be 3rd and short when we start the 4th quarter. There are 9 teams without a loss in the FBS right now. Memphis is one of them. They've been trailing by double digits all year. They trail by 11. Navy hasn't beaten an AP-ranked team in 6 years. They're up through 3 with first place in the American West on the line. According to the Football Power Index, Memphis was a 77% favorite to win this game. They trail by 11 to the 4th. And Alan Cross, he had 45 career games. The redshirt senior out of Millington, Tennessee, which is not too far from Memphis, trying to rile up the troops. A big 3rd and 1 to start the 4th quarter for the Tigers. And Paxton Lynch will keep it. And again, as he's done a couple of times tonight, pick up the first down to the 16-yard line. Amos Mason got him at the legs, but Lynch had long frame lunges for the first.
Well, that's been the addition to Memphis's run game in the 2nd half. They got to the edges, remember, in that fly sweep stuff. And in the 2nd half, Lynch has kept it and gone up in the tackle box.
And misdirection for Dorcius off the left side. And Micah Thomas wraps him up at the 20 after a 4-yard gain. What's at stake tonight? First place in the American Conference in the West Division. Houston won earlier tonight over Cincinnati, so they're 5-0. The winner of this game keeps pace and still has an edge going forward with a division title in mind. Lynch all day to the sideline, incomplete. At the 40 for Tevin Jones. Lynch on 3rd down, incomplete, dropped by Dorcius out of the backfield. And he made that catch. He still may have been tackled short, but it's going to bring up 4th down, and likely the punt unit has to come on.
And Dorcius just comes out of the backfield, and actually that slot receiving position just sets down short of first down dead. But notice the ball placement on a running back. It was off his frame, and a lot of times tight ends, running backs do not adjust that well to the football.
Big punt for Spencer Smith, who leads the American in net average. Pinning it to the sideline for Calvin Cass. Navy up 11, looking to do what they do best, and that's move the clock. 14 to play. First American Conference title game will be on December the 5th at the home of the team with a better conference record among the East and West champions. 3 teams right now unbeaten in the West. As a matter of fact, it's the only division in college football that has 3 unbeaten teams in conference play. Houston won earlier tonight. Memphis and Navy both coming in at 4-0. And Memphis, of course, has a lot more riding on it than just that. Both of these teams have hopes for a New Year's Six Bowl, but Memphis has an outside shot at the college football playoff. A loss tonight might end those hopes. Here is Swain. He gets bottled up, and it'll be a short game. 2nd down, 9 for Navy. Swain, 3rd down, and a big one coming up for the Memphis defense. Swain has been a rock star tonight. 3 rushing touchdowns for the first time in his career. on a night that had Keenan Reynolds as the headliner, hoping for a rushing touchdown to break the all-time record. It's been Swain doing the damage. 3rd and 5. Toss play, Sanders, good block, and a 1st down. Damon Brown on the edge, as so many of the slot backs do, with a great block to open up an alley.
Brandon Sanders on the carry, and then Damon Brown, like you talked about, the other slot back gets out and gets a tremendous block, number 25. The arc release right there, just gets square on the defender, and then there comes Sanders behind him. Quick pitch gets Navy quickly to the edge.
This time going to the right for Romine. And Romine turning the corner for a 1st down. Shoved out of bounds at the 36-yard line. 13 more Navy rushing yards.
Yeah, this is just hey, a good play one way. Let's flip it and do it the other way. Once again, you see the block by goalie, number 22. And then Romine gets to the edge. And before long, you're going to see Swain again, rumbling up inside. The fullback will be established sooner than later.
Maybe over 300 yards on the ground. A pitch to Gully. Gully shifting his way and takes a hit from Deshaun Terry after about a 4-yard run. About 2.5 probably, more accurately.
This is actually Easel inside, Ezel, and look at all the attention, and guess what's outside? Room to run for the pitch. That's how this offense works. Whether the fullback gets it or not, he's essentially the epicenter of what the triple option is all about.
253-pound focal point will get the handoff here. Couple more yards and a makeable 3rd down and 4.
3rd and 4. Clock is being chewed up. This is a drive-killing offense, and they don't have to wait for a drive-killing 4-minute situation. They start to have drive killers at 12 minutes. Or clock killers, and that's what we're seeing right here.
Swain is in. Reynolds keeps. Pitches late. Damon Brown, another 1st down for Navy. They just grind and wear on you. That was the 52nd rush of the night by Navy.
Well, Galen Scott was afraid of this right here, the Memphis defensive coordinator. Fullback up inside, Keenan Reynolds. Immaculate ball handling, and then he gets Romine to the edge, or excuse me, Damon Brown that particular time. Very difficult to defend when you have a surgeon like Reynolds running it from the quarterback position.
Toss play for Sanders. There's that cut block by Brown, and Sanders turns the corner, tiptoeing down the sidelines. Another 1st down.
So is Sanders going in motion to be the pitch guy in the triple option that direction, or are they going to pitch in the ball quickly and gain leverage outside? That time it was the latter, the quick pitch. And Sanders gets to the edge in a heartbeat.
How about those feet by Sanders to stay in bounds? Very deft movement in a tight territory along the sidelines. 1st and goal, and remember, Keenan Reynolds, who has not done a ton in the ground tonight rushing the ball, still has a chance to break the record for rushing touchdowns. Here is Cass. It'll be Cass into the end zone for a score, and Navy has taken a 3-score lead in the 4th against unbeaten Memphis.
When a defense gets worn down and gets tired of this same look, fullback inside, pitch outside, they lose angles. There's a really good block outside by Gaston, Joey Gaston, number 65, but Memphis defensively are losing their gusto, and their angles defensively are falling off the edge of the earth.
10 to play, 18-point game, and this is the first career rushing touchdown for Calvin Cash, and it has given Navy a big lead on the road. One of the bucket list places if you're a party animal. Beale Street here in Memphis, underrated gem. Been a great week here in Memphis, but Tom's not feeling it right now, and you can understand why. Memphis with so much promise to reach heights they've never reached before. Right now they're down by 18 with 10 minutes to play, and Navy trying to do something they haven't done in over 3 decades. That's beat a top 15 team ranked in the AP. Anthony Miller, can he get something going in the return game for Memphis? He's going to get hit shy of the 20. Listen, I know Nebraska's had bad loss and tough loss and close loss. And for close loss, is there anything to make you believe that they can't pull an upset at home? Lynch over the middle on first down, caught by Dorcius. Grabbed quickly by Goebel, second down.
You just have a feeling right now that Memphis absolutely needs a touchdown here, right? I mean, they may not get the ball back.
Yeah.
The way Navy's offense is marching it, and Navy's defense has played so well. A team in Memphis that scores 48 points a game, and tonight 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. That's good stuff from a defense that's
39. We'll start on my signal.
A defense that's overshadowed a lot of times by what their offense does.
Sure. Again, clock issue. They had to put 13 seconds back on the clock there. Swinging out to the side. This is Proctor. Proctor close to the sticks as he got grabbed by Brandon Jones from behind.
Navy's defense simply does not give up big plays, and they force efficiency out of the opposition. The offense that Memphis right now, they just haven't been consistently efficient tonight to get it done.
Running left, it's Dorcius. And he lost the football again, and it's Navy ball as Clemens dives on top of it. Memphis is falling apart right now, and Navy is in control.
You lose the turnover takeaway to Navy, and you simply can't beat them. Dorcius puts the ball on the ground right here, and Clements jumps on top of it. I think it was Barber from his free safety position, breaks it loose. Tough sledding right now in Memphis for the Tigers.
Here, one of the unbeatens is starting to fade. 18-point lead for Navy. Looking for an upset of an AP top 15 team. Memphis, the number 15 team in the AP poll for the first time since 1984. Here is Swain. And he works to the 40. 6 years ago to the day was the last time that the Navy Midshipmen had a win over an AP-ranked top 25 team. Vince Murray had 158 yards on the ground in the upset against number 19 Notre Dame. And then you got to go back 31 years. Last time it was a win over a top 15 team. Number 2 South Carolina went down. They had national title hopes that year, but the Navy upset derailed those. You got to go back a long way for a win of this magnitude for Navy. Swain again, first down, and still on his feet to the 26-yard line. He's putting together one special night on what could be a monumental night for the Navy football program.
And you notice the offense that Navy was running in those clips from 31 years ago, right?
Just about the same, I would say.
Their fullback wasn't nearly as big as Chris Swain, but the desire was the same. The concept was the same. And this is a difficult out this time of the year. This scheme, this triple option where offensive players are cutting you to the ground and they grind you out and you get less touches offensively. This is a tough team to beat this time of the year.
Reynolds runs it to the 21-yard line. When we talked with Ken Niumatalolo this week, he said that this is probably the biggest game that he has ever coached in outside of the Notre Dame games and the Service Academy games. This has the most magnitude of any game that he's coached in, and this is certainly one of the biggest opportunities outside of Notre Dame and the Service Academy games that Navy football has had. Not only is it a win against the ranked teams and all that good stuff if they close this out, but they are in serious contention, along with Houston, for a New Year's Six bowl game. Let's not forget about that. Second down 5 for Reynolds. And it's Swain, grabbed up top by Hunter, very close to the sticks. The 3rd down and 1. And Navy in no hurry right now.
You talked about it, Adam. Navy has Houston down the road, but Memphis has to go to Houston, followed by a trip to Temple. I mean, they have tough sledding, to say the least. So Navy coming in here in this showing, they jump into the top 25, and they are in the, at least in the driver's seat in this conference with Houston out in front of them.
3rd down 1. They go to Swain here. They do. The guy who's got his 5th career 100-yard rushing game tonight keeps this drive alive for Navy. Yeah, let's not forget that too. And let's not write the obituary on Memphis' season just yet. They are still well alive for the West Division Championship, but this would severely hurt their outside shot already at the college football playoffs, so that might be fading away quickly right now for Memphis. But the West Division and the New Year's Six Bowl is still up for grabs. More than likely it's going to come out of the American between Navy, Memphis, Temple, or Houston, I would think, right?
That's what it appears to me. I think they certainly, this conference has an inside track for that New Year's six pick.
1st down and 10, Reynolds in the red zone. Swain again. Oh, this is a big body. Most rushing yards that Memphis has allowed in over 8 years. You got to go back to November of 2007. The last time they gave up over 350 rushing yards.
And Memphis came into this game only giving up 119.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
However, a lot of that is because of the shootout type of games that they've been in.
They play a lot of spread offensive teams, certainly.
Yeah,
pass the ball.
And teams that a lot of times were needing to throw the football to stay in games in that shootout mentality.
But 371 on the ground for Navy tonight. Reynolds is keeping it. Reynolds fighting, and he's about a half-yard shy as Regis Ball caught up to him. We approach 5 minutes to play, lest we forget, as we haven't pounded it enough tonight. Keenan Reynolds is sitting at 77 career rushing touchdowns, still tied with Monte Ball. He said he would take the win over getting the record, but he would like the record and the win, so he doesn't have to talk about the record anymore. Certainly been leading up to it all season long.
Well, how about get it all on this drive? You can see his family is standing up with that anticipation. A running clock, and then how about number 19 getting into the end zone?
Reynolds keeping it, trying to work forward, and he is inches away from the goal line. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Well, Navy is putting in extra offensive linemen. Robert Lindsey is in there as well, number 75. They're doing everything they can to get this ball in the end zone for Keenan Reynolds.
There's Lindsey, the sophomore out of Florida.
6 offensive linemen and counting. We may be up to about 8 or 9 before this drive's out.
Second and goal. Toss play, running right, another rushing touchdown for Navy. This one belongs to Damon Brown. Well, this one looks like it's going to be salted away by the Midshipmen.
I think Mom is happy they got in the end zone, but I think she would have appreciated it if 19 was the one carrying the football. Keenan Reynolds, I watched him after that play, and he truly was very excited that they got in the end zone, and that is the type of player he is. He would like to have that record, but I think it truly means more to him for them to come away with this huge win.
For those of you who haven't gotten a chance to really watch Navy football, again, these are not young men who are going to be necessarily playing at the next level like a Paxton Lynch is going to. We talked about contrast of styles. What about contrast of postgraduate?
No doubt.
These are young men that are going to be serving our country in some capacity after their football careers at Navy are over. That's what happens when you play at Army or Air Force or Navy. That's the main focus.
It's pretty interesting when you talk about Paxton Lynch as a redshirt junior can come out after the season, and right now some are projecting him as the first quarterback taken in the draft. He'll be the face of an NFL team, and Keenan Reynolds will be serving our country somewhere in the world. That's the difference.
Frazier makes the catch. Let's not make it sound like we're disparaging anybody who doesn't serve the country. Obviously, we're not making it seem like that, but it's just a different contrast of what it means to go to a service academy to play football. Henderson has the first down. 3 minutes to play here.
Well, that mentality that, I mean, it permeates what Navy does, right? It's what they do offensively because of the type of athlete that they're going to get at the Naval Academy. Right. So they run this triple option scheme. They play the defense they play because of the type of athlete they're going to get. And they do it with precision. And when they win the turnover takeaway, you simply can't beat them.
Mason and Anthony, the two edge rushers for Navy, closing in on Lynch with 2:40 to play. This conference has not been decided tonight, but this was one heck of a swing game that's going to go in Navy's favor. Don't forget, Memphis Houston, Memphis Temple, Navy Houston. Those games are still to come in this conference the rest of the way. And more than likely, you got to think that one of those four teams is going to end up in a New Year's Six bowl game. And they'll have another chance at a quality win against likely one of those other teams because they have an American Conference title game to play this year for the first time. Lynch under pressure. On the outside, Proctor diving ahead. Fourth down, caught by Proctor and short of the line to gain. And Navy will take over, and Proctor limping off the field, jumping off the field right now. Hopefully he's all right. This is what we were talking about. Next Saturday, Memphis and Houston in a massive matchup. Memphis has to play Temple, and don't forget, both of those games for Memphis are on the road. And then Navy against Houston on November the 27th, a week before the American Conference Championship game. Those are probably going to be the three biggest games in this conference the rest of the way.
Yeah, and Houston is at home with both of those games. Memphis
That's
next
right.
week, and then Navy down the road. So Houston now is in a very good position. But I'm telling you right now that Navy's going to be a tough out the rest of this season.
The winningest quarterback in Navy history said, we can do it if I don't score a rushing touchdown. He would have liked to have the record tonight, but they had to do it against Air Force without him scoring a rushing touchdown. And they're going to do it tonight as he spread the wealth. 377 rushing yards for Navy against Justin Fuente's defense. Earlier today, Air Force got a win over Army. So if Navy, after all is said and done in the American Conference, if they beat Army, they will take back the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. They'll win it for the 10th time in the last 13 years if they win that game in mid-December.
And if you talk to any of the academy schools, including Navy right here, the Commanders-in-Chief trophy is their emphasis every year.
Navy's going to go to 7-1 for the first time in 11 years. And Ken Niumatalolo in his 100th game as the head coach of Navy is going to come away with one of the biggest wins in program history. First win over an AP top 15 team in 31 years. And they knock Memphis from the ranks of the unbeaten. We're down to 8 unbeaten teams in college football. What a win for the Midshipmen tonight.
When you play Navy, at the end of the day, it's about whose style of play wins out, and this was all about the way Navy wins football games here this evening.
The old styles make ball games cliche. Who's going to will or impose their will on the other team tonight? To the tune of 375 on the ground. It was Navy tonight with a 25-point monumental program victory. And a career night for Chris Swain with 3 rushing touchdowns. Down to the field, Ken Niumatalolo with Olivia.
Coach, people will be talking about this one for a long time, beating a top 15 at home. What does it say about your program?
Just really proud of our kids. And really at the end there, we were trying to get Keenan the ball, but he saw something, he checked the play, and he checked to another play, let one of his teammates score. Well, that just shows you kind of young man. He had a chance to break the record at home. He checked the play and I just told him, I mean, that's why his kid's special.
Was that a priority for you to get him to break that record here in front of his home team?
Oh, it would have been nice, but he's just a great kid. You know what I mean? I just got so much love for this guy. I'm just happy for him.
Coach, thank you. Congratulations.
One of the biggest wins in Navy history. The record will wait. But right now, the Midshipmen are undefeated in conference play. They are 7-1 for the first time in 11 years. They knocked Memphis from the ranks of the unbeaten in dominant fashion, 45-20. Cal and Oregon are coming up. Back to the studio. College football scoreboard for Kelly and Olivia. Adam Amin, sing so long.